Now, he loved American history, and he loved the history of the White House. He knew so much about the history of the White House. It was just stunning to be with him. And he, whenever there was a foreign visitor and we were up in the residence, I mean, he could talk about every stone in it. Or when we took Jiang Zemin into the Lincoln bedroom and showed him the Emancipation Proclamation. And I mean, Clinton could just, he knew everything about everything, and he loved the history of it. The only other person that was good about the history of the White House was Newt Gingrich. And there was some crazy dinners where they would kind of compare notes about what they knew. But I think that whatever attempts he made, I mean, he read biographies of other presidents, and I think it would be interesting to know what he thought about. I mean, he was very aware, obviously, that here he was in this line, and he did read a lot. He got very much into some scientific issues. I mean, he got into global warming and various issues. He was voracious in what he read. The other part that it is at the Clinton Library, and it is a lot of fun, are all his political memorabilia. He was a complete pack rat, and he loved to shop. And so, I mean, he had all these little things and political buttons, and he had the letter that Truman wrote to the guy who criticized his daughter, Paul Hume, and when you went back off the Oval Office, the walls were just covered with all this memorabilia because he really is a political junkie. And for instance, sitting here with you, there are the bookshelves in the Oval Office, and early on, there was a man who I knew who said, "Would I please give a present to the president on his behalf?" That he wasn't sure he could get it to him. And it was a leather-bound copy of Jefferson's Notes on Virginia, and which I gave to the president. He was thrilled to have it. And I would always look to see where it was in the library. And he reorganized books. It would be interesting to, wherever he went, he would begin to reorganize the books, whether they were his library or somebody else's. And we were at Y, and we were in this room there's a house at the Y Plantation that belonged to the people that owned it, and we were having a very interesting dinner of Arafat, Netanyahu, president, and me, and a note taker. And there's a library. All of a sudden, he starts reorganizing the books. And I said, Mr. President, this is not your library. He said, I need reorganizing. And so, I mean, he'd reorganize his desk. And so things that were, I think it would be interesting, the personal things to him, or, the paintings that he liked. Just a very interesting man.